Okay, welcome to this game between Slayer Baxter and C. Baxter, and this is in the Shinhan Pro League 2009-2010, and the map is Tornado, so more of these whirlwind themed maps. Sorry it's been so long, guys. I know usually you guys probably would like to be hearing Maho and Edwin next to me, but unfortunately it's just me here, Mustard, today. The other guys are a bit busy, and I'm sneaking this one in between exams. Anyway, we've got Boxer himself, who would be probably popular going up against the Dragon, to be honest, a fan favourite anyway. And he's against C. Baxter, who seems to be an up-and-coming player. Yeah, looking at the stats here, he's 5 for 3 in 2009, and 1 vs 1 versus Terran. So promising start, but I guess if he wants to make a place for himself, he wants to smash Boxer as much as I hate to see it. And we have a Terran versus Zerg, so probably one of my more favourite matchups. I haven't really seen too many games on this map yet, Tornado, so I'm not sure what to tell you guys yet. I'll have a look at the map architecture a little bit as it goes along. But we got a lot of players, fans in the crowd for SKT1, obviously, the previous Pro League champions, beating out Lekaf in an epic match, really. They took it out in 2 sets as opposed to taking it to the Super Ace, which Jaedong probably would have been favoured to take, really. I mean, Jaedong's really favoured to take any ace he goes into, but he did drop an ace against SKT1, and there's no surprises there because they're such a star-loaded team. We've got, you know, up-and-coming Fantasy, Bisu, coaching staff, Uv, Boxer, you know, they're just really great players all around, and they're going to provide a lot of stability to any team, really. We even have new players coming through, like Hyuk, for anyone who would believe it. Hyuk playing reasonable Zerg, you know, that's always been a weakness of SKT1. They've always been strong, the Terrans, and since they imported Bisu, Protoss is more or less fine now. They've had Best as well there, but he hasn't really performed in a long time. And I believe he got knocked out of one of the offline qualifiers recently. Either that or he made it to the qualifier and he got knocked out. So, yeah, anyway, hoping for the scan to start soon. Boxer looking blinky as usual. And C. Baxter probably thinking to himself, oh god, I'm against Boxer, no one's going to cheer for me. Anyway, hoping for a good start here. Yeah, Korean commentators going crazy. And it looks like we got start coming on now, and I'll count it up for syncing purposes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so we have it looks like Boxer in the top right and Baxter in the top left nearly at the 10 o'clock, whereas Boxer is more at the 1 o'clock. We got Baxter sending out his Overlord immediately in the right direction, which will give him a pretty good scouting on Boxer, but I also find that slightly disadvantageous against Terran, because Terran can see which direction the Overlords come from unless the Zerg's quite sneaky, and then they can pretty much guess where the Zerg is themselves, and then they send out their scouts straight to the Zerg. So it means that it's kind of an early scout for Terran, but it's an earlier scout for Zerg, really. I'll be interested to see what builds they go for here. It looks like obviously I wouldn't be able to tell any builds yet. If I was to say anything, I'd say Boxer may possibly go for Cheese, but I think he'd probably want to show a more solid game. Just simply on the bearings that he hasn't been winning a lot of games recently. I mean, obviously he might go for Cheese now. It looks like a standard play. He's just going to wall off his front with a barracks supply depot, which is pretty much the default. I'll be interested to see if he actually goes for the full wall off though, because I feel against Zerg you can get away with just blocking up the ramp with a few SCVs and getting some Marines behind there, because the Zerg has a really hard time breaking that down, really, especially with the SCVs just continue to defend, to repair each other. The default AI means that they kind of screw up their attack, and I think they might be going for the barracks factory supply depot seal, so I expect to see a refinery go down any second now, and I expect a mech build out of Boxer, and there we go. We've got the refinery going down, and we have Baxter taking an early expansion. I think that's that's a 12 hatch. So he's going for the economic build. He thinks he can deal with this, and I think he can. I've seen a lot of Zerg successfully pulling off Hydra against the mech build, just because Hydra is so strong against vultures, and it means that that early investment into vultures, usually vulture mines as well, becomes quite wasted unless the Zerg lets a couple of Hydra die. So I expect to see Hydra and perhaps a quick tech into Muta as well to switch off the mech build, because when they go for those mutas, it does kind of force the Terran to be a bit more defensive, chuck up an engineering bay and just make sure their defenses are shored up before they move out. I also think that Baxter probably will be going to one command center into expansion. Sorry, one factory into expansion, just because that's such a solid and generally all-round good build. The Zerg player will probably be looking to take an early expansion to counter that, and a second expansion to take him up to 3 bases, because generally in this matchup the Zerg do want to be about 1 base ahead. And I've noticed one thing that's really crucial for Terran, and it might not seem like much, but if you can get down their 3rd expansion and they're just on 2 bases, it doesn't even matter if you basically lose the army trying to take it out. If you take it out, the Zerg will be hurting, and generally the Terran can play catch up. I like the positioning there by Baxter. I don't think you should ever have your overlords in a position where they can be killed, because it slows them down so early, and basically anywhere else is just unsuitable for the overlord to live, really. Oh, and okay, so we're seeing this more interesting starport build. I think this goes to armory, and it's more based on a bit of drop, and it's been scouted by Baxter, so excellent job by Baxter there, having the presence of mind to bring in a second scout. And we have the lair upgrading for Baxter as well, which is a good thing. I think he's going for Muta, but we won't really be able to... Oh no, sorry, my mistake. The Hydra Den is already up, so he is going for Lurkers, which is kind of iffy against the mech build. The mech build does suffer much less against it than the bio build or any SK build, so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I think Baxter has done what he's needed to do though. He knows what he's playing up against, and he probably knows the answer because he's probably practiced it a lot. And that on the other side, Baxter has scouted out this build, so he knows what's coming as well. And I think the starport, especially because he thinks he's gotten away with this starport, the Overlord came in before, and I'm wondering if Baxter actually spotted that and knows that that starport has been scouted. It looks like a Wraith is coming out for early control, and I've seen a lot of Terrans doing this. I think it's equivalent to like the Protoss Corsair coming out and trying to kill off a few Overlords, and really that does slow down Zerg quite substantially, especially if you can pick off a few Overlords that